welcome you all. We promised you another episode and we are going to give it to you, okay? So we are excited to get this conversation started. We are going to be talking about dreaming without losing yourself with the amazing guest, Mr. Preston Johnson. Like I said, he is an amazing motivational speaker. He's a man of God. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a grandfather. He's all things. Okay, the man is amazing. So make sure you follow him on social media. Stay connected with him for more motivational inspiration, as you will learn as we have this conversation tonight. But we are truly, truly excited to get into this tea with Mr. Preston Johnson. Hello.
Hey, yo, what's happening?
We made it happen.
I made it.
How are you?
I'm blessed by the best. How are you guys doing? I'm so excited to be a part of Tea Time. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get my hair done, but we're going to go with the bald look today. So if I'm able to kind of get across to your audience with that look, is that all right? I want to make sure that's good to go.
Listen, we are in.
Your wig looks great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My wife said I'm shining. That's all right. That's all right. Thank y'all for having me.
Listening, and we are appreciative for you and your time tonight. So we are excited to get into this tea. So let me start by asking you, how did you not lose yourself when you had your dream? Like, what was your dream, and how did you not lose yourself?
I think one of the biggest things, Liz, that we have to do is identify immediately your why. I think a lot of people today, the world we live in is not even real. It's a virtual reality. And so I did a TikTok. I said, usually someone's dream is destroyed, not by destruction, but it's destroyed by distraction. And so virtual reality main goal is to set you back so you're not able to fulfill or follow through what God has given you. So if I can distract you long enough, whether it's virtually, whether it's in your face, whether it's in the street, whatever that you may come in contact with long enough, eventually you will stop pursuing your dreams, and then you'll just self-destruct. And so I think one of the things you do, you have to hold on to your why. Why you'll do it, whether you get paid for it or not. Your why will push you through it, whether somebody hates on you or not. Your why is the thing you need to lock in on. And if you do that on a consistent basis, that'll allow you to stay connected to, again, remember, your assignment isn't self-given, it's God assigned. And so it's important to understand that you have to fulfill that, because if you don't, he'll get someone else to do it. So I think really locking in on your why is so, so very important.
Sir, you just spilled a whole bunch of tea. Hang on for a second. Just got started, okay? So what? Okay.
He came out the door like, all right, I'm here. We about to handle this
tonight. The tea is bold tonight, okay? I love that. Okay, so now the question, let me get to it. So what is your why? Since we got to find our why, what is your why?
It's interesting when you talk about what is my why. I think growing up, little big head boy out of the streets of Chicago, Illinois, I really want to say with confidence, go Bears, but it's hurting me right now, so please forgive me.
Me too.
Yeah, I had to be talked off the ledge, Liz. They had to talk me off the ledge. But, when I was younger, I grew up on the west side of Chicago, and I always wanted to be a part of the known crowd, right? I mean, if you grew up west side, three types of folks, right? You had the pushers, right? You had the players, and you had the professional athletes. So at the end of the day, I didn't really know exactly what my purpose was, but I knew what I knew was I had a gift of influencing people and getting them to identify their true purpose. And I think that's at a younger age, God utilized that with comedy and humor. I crack jokes. People love to hear that, but it's an attention getter. And so I knew that in order for me to identify what my why is, I had to open up my gift. And I think a lot of people are frustrated about really not connecting with their why or their purpose because the gift is still under the tree. And we all know that the gift is there to make room for you, right? So when you utilize your gift, it gives you the room so you stop being frustrated and suffocated, and you start feeling and walking in your true purpose. So I knew what my why was to connect people with what their purpose is and where they are, and take them from where they are to where they need to be. And I think that's what I identify what my why is. It may not be in terms of something physical or financial or emotional, but I tapped into my gift, and my gift is connect, right? Build that bridge, right? Bridge is building a resourceful infrastructure designed to generate empowerment. You have to be the bridge. And so I knew that was my why from the get, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, wow. Listen, and there goes the bold team
Let me
again.
get my pen so I can take some notes because
Let me get on that. Okay.
that was good.
And
So,
we thank you for your why. There you go.
man, that was good. So, how do you stay focused?
I think really at the end of the day, you have to begin with the end in mind, right? You got people today that want to do all the research, but I always tell people procrastination is right around the corner from poverty and straight up the street from dead broke. So you have to be able to set clear goals out the gate, right? And here's the thing. We as a people sometimes set unrealistic goals, right? Hey man, I'm about to go ahead and get about 12,000 acres of real estate, and I'm gonna do that tomorrow night, right? That's not a realistic goal. I mean, I'm not knocking your dream. I mean, knocking your pursuit to accomplish your dream, but is that a realistic goal? You got $12 in the bank, right? So how is that a realistic goal, right? So you have to set clear goals. The second thing is you have to prioritize your goal, right? We put the important thing in the back, and then the less important thing in the front. I tell people, if you have a business or an idea, I think you need to be able to launch what gives you the most impact with the least amount of input. Meaning, whatever you do, if it's a podcast, if it's a clothing line, as long as it has the most amount of input, but make sure you impact, but minimize your input, meaning you're not going to be financially obligated or overextending yourself or doing and promising something not capable of doing. And so again, set the priorities in play. It's so important to do that. And I think also too, again, I keep going back to, you got to minimize distractions. I'm a person who's been taught long ago by my mentor. It's okay to be updated with the information, but you allow to see it and hear it, it will destroy you. You got to be able to read it, because there's both emotion in what you see and what you hear, but not in what you read. So again, you have to be able to minimize distractions. I don't look at a lot of the stuff, very seldom look at the news. I have no idea if a meteor came from outside and hit me unexpectedly, because I have no idea that meteor was coming, because it gets me off of what I'm trying to accomplish. Right. So you got to be able to minimize distractions. And then at the end of the day, you got to be able to celebrate progress. If you start a clothing line and you sell one shirt, you did it. Right? Versus folks around you, right? Man, oh, you ain't got no clothing line, dog. You sold one shirt, but that's one more shirt than they sold. So again, you gotta celebrate progress. A mentor once told me a long time ago, fast won't last, but slow is for sure. As long as you're moving in the right direction, I don't care if you're going 1 mile an hour or 100. As long as you're moving that direction, if you have success, celebrate it.
That's good.
That's good. Celebrate the small wins.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Listen, we is getting hot tonight. I love it. Okay. So now you said, don't let these distractions get to you and all that, but we do have some responsibilities. We talked last time in our episode about wearing all the hats. We're a mom, some of us are wives, we got a job to go to, all these hats. So how do you show up for all these hats? And still, while you're creating, this new one of whether it's entrepreneur or motivational speaker or whatever the case may be, like how do you show up for the responsibilities?
I think I always tell people you have to have a strong network, right? You show me your network, I'll show you your net worth. You have to be a person to be able to surround yourself with people who are willing capable, and then locked into what you're trying to accomplish. In other words, you cannot do it by yourself. You may do it for yourself, but you can't do it by yourself. It is an impossible task to do. I mean, even Jesus, he had 12 folks he hung out with, but only fooled with 3 of them, right? So you got to make sure, right, that you surround yourself with the right people. And you got to understand to practice the art of delegation. Why would you put people around you who are capable, right, professional, and able to do it if you're never going to utilize their skill set or talents? What's the point? Right? So you have to be able to understand the art of delegation, right? If you delegate, I had a mentor told me a long time ago, I want to feel free, Preston, to go to a bank and pull out my checkbook and write a check with no concern, because I know for a fact that you deposit the money to be able to cover this check. I don't have to call you. I don't have to look over my shoulder. I ain't got to do double take. I knew you deposited, which gave me the confidence to write that check. And so you have to be able to make sure those people around you. And I tell people, if you can't change the people around you, then change the people around you. It's that simple.
That's simple. People in the back again. What? Come on.
It's that simple. You know, it's nothing personal. I love you. I'll see you at the movies. But when come my business and help me get to the next level, this a trip you ain't gonna make. I can't do it. And it is what it is. Again, I keep using the Jesus philosophy. He didn't fool all 12. He didn't. He pulled them 3 aside, right? He had one to get him out of jail. He had the one that may put him in jail, and the one to negotiate his bail. So that's just kind of how he did his thing. Listen. But everybody, you're right. I mean, that's the same focus you have to have. Right, you know, your circle gotta be tight, but it gotta be right. So
love it. How do you find the strength to stay committed to everything while you putting into your dream?
Well, you know, commitment is doing what you said you're gonna do long after the mode that you set it in has gone.
That's good.
We as church folk grew up all our life, and we know when that music started playing and they get to harmonize on that mic, you're like, right? And then you leave and you go back and say, what was the word about? We go, I don't know, but it was exciting, right? It was exciting. Boy, we had a blast. Boy, you can't stay committed to something that you have no idea exactly what the actionable item was, right? You have to make sure that you know, what they say, write the vision and make it plain. It has to be clear. It has to be concise, and it has to be something you can stick to. Commitment is doing something that you would do if you didn't even get paid for it. That's how I say commitment, right? Because it was based off something I truly believe in. So when the fair weather people coming, and they coming, when the haters show up, and they showing up, and they try to get you off your perch, it doesn't matter, because I'm all in to the end. That's how I stay committed. And I tell people, listen, either you gonna be with me or against me, because if you're in my way, I'm gonna go get you out of my way so I get on my way. So you have to be able to have that level of commitment. Like your show Tea Time. I tell people all the time, there's a purpose and the reason what you guys are doing. And it doesn't matter about the likes. It doesn't matter about the views. Your job is to do what you've been given to do. And that's to build a platform for others to hear people speak. And I promise you, the right person is going to hear it, and the right opportunity is going to present yourself. Why? Because you were obedient and you were committed. You were committed. And that's what this walk is all about. So I kudos to what you guys are doing. I think this is awesome, and I'm really glad to be here.
Oh man, you just touch our hearts. Come on, we ain't supposed to cry tonight. We ain't supposed to cry. Okay? I want to go back to the delegation thing that you said, that we have to learn to delegate and support, use the network around us. What would you say to the person who has control issues, who has trust issues, when they want to step out into this thing? And you said we can't do this by ourselves. How can I break myself from those things?
Well, I think out the gate, Liz, you have to inspect what you expect out the gate.
Yep.
right? I think
Okay.
we're so quick on trying to beat a deadline. We're trying to get stuff out there before the first of whatever, and
Right.
we don't do the necessary research. We didn't do the necessary inspection. And you have to be on. When I worked as in the church in many different roles, I think my last one was an adjutant. Bishop Howard say to me, he says, "Son, I need you to be the heartbeat of what I'm doing, not
Wow.
his eyes,
Mm.
not his hands, his heartbeat." If the people that you're surrounded with don't have the same heartbeat, Liz, then really they're not going to be the person that you need to take with you. You need to
That's so
be able
good.
to feel confident about doing something without any hesitation. If you can do that, you got the right person. But
Yeah.
if you're doing that and you have hesitation, you have doubt, you have uncertainty, then
Whew.
those are not the people you need around you. I don't care if your dream takes 24 years, but when you land on that 24th year, you're landing on solid ground. I think we get so
Mm.
caught up in the world of emotion that we're really concerned about what people think about us, what
Yeah.
they say about us. And in the meantime, they're doing
Mm.
everything to us. We have to be convicted on the assignment that was given to us, not from below, from
Yeah.
up, but from above. And I figure if he gives you the vision, he's going to put you around the right people to give you the provision.
Most
And you
definitely.
have to believe that. And so again, if people have control issues, I think I saw the douches went up pretty quick, right? They're not part of this, right? You got people that
Mm.
don't want to believe in your dream or what you're doing. They
Yeah.
can't be a part of this because we know that you are here to be obedient, not to be liked,
Come
right?
on.
You're here to be obedient because the repercussions not falling on the control person. It's falling on you. And
That.
you have to be that person because God don't say, well done, them. No, die. You,
One single yes.
you can't turn your head. He'll be like, who you looking at? I'm talking to you.
Facts. Talking to
Exactly.
you.
So
Oh,
you have to make sure that, and again, I run into when we started our business, my son started a business a long time ago. Multiple people gave us all type of instructions and directions and suggestions and all this. And I was really listening to them. I was really like, well, man, they got 15 degrees and 45 professionalisms and they doing all type of things. Surely they know what they're talking about. But I had to figure out exactly really clear of, what was their intent. I never talk about the people's really actionable result. I ask for what the intent is. You have to search the intent because a lot of times you'll see people there with the result, right? And they really have the right intent. So find out what the intent. Hey, why you want to come volunteer with us, right? And they'll tell you flat out, right? If somebody tell you who they are, believe them because they'll tell you. All you got to do is ask. So again, you have to make sure that the people have your heartbeat. And when I learned that it takes a while to find them, you're going
yeah.
to lose a lot of people on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are going to probably try to destroy your dream, but you
Mm-hmm.
got to realize what your true purpose is and why you were given this. And if you can continue to put that at the forefront,
Yeah.
they'll fall off themselves. Like my mentor said, treat people like in the rearview mirror. The faster you go, the smaller they become until they disappear.
Right.
Wow.
Wow. Listen, I don't know if I can take no more tonight. Hang on.
This is good.
It's so
This is
good. It's
good.
so rich. It is so
Mhm.
rich. Like
Yes.
hands down, wisdom after wisdom after wisdom. And I
Yeah.
thank you for being truthful, transparent, and just speaking from the heart of the Lord. Like, I mean, seriously, you getting you getting all our lives together. Okay?
Yes. I'm like, oh God, I need to be taking some
This
notes.
is just
Like,
making you getting everybody together out here tonight. Okay?
I'm trying to focus on the questions, but I'm like, oh wait, we're supposed to be asking questions, but I'm
Listen,
seeing like,
I'm about to cry. This was not one of those episodes.
this is good.
But you think about it though. Think about it. When you're moved like that, that means you're connected to your true purpose. You two were
Listen,
brought together for a reason. It wasn't happenstance. It wasn't coincidence. There were certain groups of people and range of people that everyone needs to be connected, and they need to connect through you two. You know it. That's why you feel it. That's why it's undeniable and it's non-negotiable. It doesn't matter. Tea time is moving forward. I would love for you to be on it. Hey, I'd love for you to tune in. But if not, I have to fulfill my assignment. And I think in this day and age now, we get caught up in really what that was. That what took place in November. I know a lot of people were affected and bothered by it. but it really was just a wake up call. We were walking around here sleepwalking. We weren't standing on our true purpose. We're not fulfilling our true assignment. We were just getting by as we went by, right? We were getting along as we went along. So now, sometimes to be awakened, you need a real shaking. And that's what this is. This is a real shaking. Not for us to start feeling like put our hands down and pout, or roll our sleeves up and start getting it out. That's really what we have to start doing. And I think, to me, we were built for times such as this. Now it's important for us to start building together and putting together the pieces that was necessary that we were given, and start to execute.
I love it. I love it. This is
Amen.
good. Okay, so
Amen.
since you talking on this line, so let's talk a little bit more on the sacrifice that comes along with this. When you're going after a dream, there is some sacrifice that is required. What does that look like? What is it to you? I guess in a sense.
Um, for a fact, in any given time, one of the things that's hard, that we can never get back, is time. So you
Mm,
have to really make sure you guard your time.
that's good.
It's so very important. What I do, I don't really have. I'm not really a spontaneous person. Unless I have to be. Lord knows, Liz, we learned that in church. You got to pivot
You
in
better
the in the matter. You got to what you what you mean? I got to pick up sister so and so. You just told me.
in
I
15
I
minutes.
tell the story when we do revival, and this
Yes,
Pastor Eastling from New Jersey, and he
yes,
came in, and he was like, "Hey man, where we staying?" I said, I'm gonna get you there in a minute." And but he didn't have any undergarments, and so at the end of the day, he says, "Man, what I need to do? I'm going on to preach." So I had to wake up at 3 in the morning, be able to go out and get him something from Walmart and bring it back to him, so he can be able to fulfill what is his obligation and his duties. But that was a precious part of my time, because that's when I get my sleep, and it kind of threw me off the next day. I say that to say is, you have to guard your time, and you have to make sure that your time is not negotiated. I know we live in this area where everybody's pulling us left and right, up and down. And again, if you allow that to happen, it's going to take you away from really what you've been told you need to execute. So you got to be able to guard your time. Also, you got to be able to understand that in order for me to go, time is going to be necessary in order for me to grow. Right. And so I know for a fact that everything I do, is something that I do regardless. I know this is where I work out. I know this is when I connect and start working on my business. I know this is where I connect and start working on my book. And this is something that we do, and we do it intentionally and on purpose. And
yes,
so I think, to me, once you get yourself a routine or a regimen, you got to be disciplined enough to stick to it.
that's
Right?
good.
I mean, is tea time, is that a negotiable? Do you guys have it at 7 o'clock on one day? Do you have it on 8:30 on another day? No, this is when we have tea
Yes,
time.
that's good.
And again, this is where it has to move forward, because what I learned is, some people may not really respect your time, so do anything with it to take your time.
Mm,
You got to be able to make sure you're there with people who respect your time, right? To give you back what you necessary, because what you provide for them, they need. So again, making sure you're disciplined, you guarded and intentional with your time. And I see so many people get swayed, and they get off their perch because they want to make sure they do other stuff for other people. And guess what? Now that 1 year dream become a 2 year dream, become a 3 year dream, because it becomes a 4 year dream, because you yourself did not guard or protect your time. And so I talk to all the time about people who actually are successful, and they tell you flat out, I don't negotiate my time, because that's the one thing that I can never get back.
so good. Yes, they do. Like, people ain't playing about their time, and they will charge you for their time. Okay,
What?
they,
What?
that is
With a
Exactly.
heartbeat.
Real
okay.
quick. So I know that that's also a learning process, how to say no and when to let things go. But how do you know when to let go of one hat, or when to let go of things to in order to pursue your dream? So you're not
So we
carrying so much.
know, as we said earlier, you have to write the vision and play it down. I mean, and write it down. I tell people, don't think it, you have to ink it. You
Yeah.
have to be able to notate every single goal,
Yeah.
right? Because when you forget what the goal is, the paper won't, right? So
Mm,
that's why you
mm,
have to write it down. The paper will remind you, right? You
Yeah.
were supposed to be here at 7:30, right? If you don't, then you start playing games. Well, I know it's 7:30, man. I'll be there at 8:30, right? So I
Right.
think to me, you have to be able to write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
The other way is, again, we talked a little bit about people being on the same page with you.
Yeah.
If you have to beg people to do what you ask them to do, they're
mm.
not the person that you need to have that's trying to get you to accomplish your goal.
You
They
done
should
said
want to
something.
do it without any hesitation. They should want to do it to put in full preparation. And they ain't gonna trying to negotiate. They're trying to make sure they're there to execute it because it's not about them. It's about the assignment. So if you have that person that saw your
Mm,
vision that you wrote down, they understand exactly what you're doing without you forcing them. And the other person has to see your goal. They have to see where this is going to
mm,
land. If they're trying to give you a different outcome, they're trying to get you to go down their pathway. They want you to consider what they're thinking. That is not the person that you want part of or that you're going to release that to or delegate it to. So again, just to
mm.
recap, you got to be able to read your vision. The second thing, they got to be understand that they're going to do it without hesitation. And the last thing, they got to be able to know exactly what the goal is. If
That's good.
those three things are in play without you looking over left from your right shoulder, then you can feel comfortable with handing that particular task to them. Now, let's be cognizant now. We know they have a life to live as well. So I'm saying give them the opportunity, feel confident they'll fulfill it, and know it's going to get done. That's the only way you're going to grow. Because if you continue to be in all four quadrants at all time, all you're going to do is burn out. And when you burn out, then
Wow.
the dream that you set forth is not going to come to fruition. So you have to do it. You have to do it. Kind of like you was giving that child the opportunity. Well, I'm gonna let you stay home by yourself now. I want to come back and the house burned down. Right? You got to be
Right.
able to let them do it. And if you allow them to do it and they follow those three particular things, I promise you they're not going to disappoint you.
Awesome. Um,
That's good.
I'm just going to ask a side question before I ask the real question here. Was there anything you had struggled to let go, or maybe somebody that you thought would work
Oh
that
yeah.
you, like, hey, I can't? How did you handle that time, that conversation?
It was difficult because if you know me, I'm an extrovert. You can tell I ain't shut up yet. And
You are.
my gift is creativity,
Yes.
right? I'm a creative person, and typically people who are creative, it's
Yeah.
hard to be able to, not necessarily communicate your vision to others, but it's hard for others to see it. So you find yourself doing everything because you know exactly what it should look like, or so you think.
So you think?
That's
Yeah.
when I had to realize that a lot of the things that I had was coming from a Preston perspective and not coming from a person perspective or a people
Mm,
perspective or a project perspective. It was
Mhm.
just Preston's perspective. So a lot of things that I would try to do, Liz, on my own, it would fail because I didn't include other ideas, other thought processes, other people.
That's good.
When I started letting that go and bringing it in, so my job became I'm the creative. I'll bring you all the ingredients. I'll bring the jambalaya, I'll bring the rice, I'll bring the pot, I have the water, I get the salt and the sugar. But maybe that's where I stop. Now I bring in somebody who can understand how the ingredients work. And then
Yeah.
they can come in and give it to the person that can learn how to make it cook. Then we can hand it over to the person that can be able to serve it. And then we can get the person there to be able to sell it. So
that's
again,
good.
really know what your gift is, understand it, and be okay with giving it to the person that has that skill set to be able to advance it. And when I
That's
learned to
good.
do that, not only was I executing at a faster pace, I truly realized that really I know what my position, my purpose was,
That's
right? It
good.
was to build it, right? And to be able to hand it off because there are other people that God surrounds you with to be able to take that baton and take it that next leg. So that's when I knew. I know, like, man, this was the perfect idea. Yeah, for Preston, right? It had nothing to do with everybody else involved. And when I did that, I started to see the growth. I started to see the expansion. I started to see the benefits and the blessing.
Mm.
Okay, I got another side question. Sorry, I know I got all these side questions. But so
All right.
how do you distract the noise or someone trying to put something on you. Like someone will be like, "Hey, you should do this. This is you would be good at this." When you know
That's a good.
you just want to stay focused, you have a goal in mind, you're going forward, right? But you get these little side pieces, these little
Oh
side
yeah, oh
things.
yeah.
And I know
I
we
tell people,
have distractions, but it could be enticing because it looks like it could be part of the plan, but it's not part of the plan. So yeah.
so I got a simple analogy and then a quick definition. I same way, but I treat it just like a bag of Halloween candy,
Oh,
right? I got
okay.
a huge bag of candy, but I only pull out what I want. I only eat what I like.
Right.
Just because I got a whole bag of candy and all the sweets and all the stuff that's in there, that may be just something that I don't like. So I don't not take the candy, right? Because that piece of candy, I may not want to taste right now. I maybe want to taste a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to pull out what I need and what I like and be able to eat that.
That's good.
That's kind of how I go about it. So I didn't distract and say, hey, your idea is not a great idea. Your thought process is not a bad process. Matter of fact, I do appreciate it. Matter of fact, I ask people all the time, what's your thoughts? Because at the end of the day, when they say that and they give you their consideration, you go, that's a great idea. Let me think about that. Let me think on that. Let me hold on to that. Let me
Okay.
see exactly when I be able to execute on that. So you're not stagnating their growth. You're not trying to come across like you're a mean individual. You're not saying the idea is not a good idea. But at this time, you know exactly what you need. So you just kind of simply say to them, at this time, I love what you're saying. Let me contemplate on that. Or as we like to say from our world, let me pray about that. And if
Okay.
it comes to fruition, right? Because he sends in two ways, right? He'll send you affirmation and then
Okay.
he'll follow it up with confirmation.
Come
And if
on.
you get the confirmation piece, you can execute. But at that time, I'm still waiting on that confirmation, Sister Tina. And if I get that confirmation based off your idea, I promise you, you'll be the first one I call. And again, you're not lying. You're not trying to discredit them or make them feel bad. They may have a great idea, but it may be an idea that's before its time, right? It may be an idea that you really even thought about. So at the end of the day, it's not the fact that you don't need it now. That don't mean you're not going to need it never. You just
Right.
be able to let them know, I appreciate everything you do and I appreciate what you're saying to me and you bring value. But at this time, let me take a look at that, get with my team. And if we truly believe this is something we can execute on, we'll definitely bring you in for that conversation. How does that sound, Sister
Mhm.
Tina?
I
All
love
right, sis, I
it.
appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then you can flip it in your idea. If there's something I can do to bring to the table, let me know. Because I would like to give you exactly the same energy you gave me. Does that sound like an okay thing as well? Sounds
Mhm.
good. So
Right on.
again, now they go home saying, Liz didn't listen to me. Right? She thought it was a good idea. She just didn't want to now. You gave them confidence and you gave them the permission to try again. And I think that's what we can allow our people to do. Don't stagnate the progress or stagnate the idea. It's
Right.
just at
That's
this
it.
time,
Yeah. This
right?
time.
This is not where I need to be, but let me think on it. And if it is something down the line, you'll definitely be the first person to know.
I love that. I love it. Come on
Yes,
with the wisdom tonight.
that's good.
Listen.
That's so good.
So good. Okay, here's the real question now. Okay.
Real
The real
question.
question. um, how has God helped you not to lose yourself, lose your why, lose who you are, and pursuing your why, your goals, your purpose, your ambition?
You know, you make a good point. One thing is, I know I mentioned earlier, if God gave you the vision,
Yeah,
He's going to definitely give you the provision.
yeah.
I truly believe that, you know, God will put you in a situation where you really don't have a choice but to fulfill it, right? Certain things that He gives you are non negotiables. I tell people all the time, you may be trying, God will maybe chase you from an alligator, but He gonna chase you into the arms of a bear, right? The,
Right.
the, the assignment must be fulfilled. The
Mm.
second thing is you have to surround yourself with like-minded people. If God gave you a vision, you can't be on the 4th Street corner talking to the folk rolling dice. That's
Okay.
not where it's going to be executed. Now, I'm not saying you can't holler at them, you can't high five them, but they're not going to be right. What do you say? We have to seek. wise counsel?
Right.
Are they the wise counsel? So you got to be able to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the people that's going to provide you with the guidance and direction that's needed. And you have to be intentional about it,
That's good.
right? You have to be able to do that because, again, I tell you, in any entrepreneur endeavor, it's going to be a difficult feat.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to pick up that phone and be able to call somebody that's like-minded. So you got to be able to make sure that, again, you got the proper people around you that's going to give you sound guidance
That's
and
good.
sound direction.
That's
And
good.
that's something I do all the time. I talk to my wife, of course, and my son and my daughter, and I may go out once or twice to a couple other people, but I want to make sure that I'm connected to the source. I tell people all the time, as a gifted person,
Mhm.
you have to be careful that you're not an extension cord, but you're more of a surge protector. And I say this,
Mm.
extension cord really kind of only has one purpose of connecting. It's really self-led. It's really all about them. They can be twisted, surrounded, unplugged. It doesn't matter. But
Hmm.
as a God-given individual is given an assignment, you are a surge protector. That means you are given a certain responsibility. But here's the thing. All those plugs that are plugged into you will not fulfill its purpose unless you decide to plug into it.
Mhm.
It
Hmm.
only works when you plug in for them to be able to get their purpose. So you got people around you who has looking to get their blessing and they're trying to figure out why that thing hasn't worked and they're constantly asking you, but the reason why they haven't received the power because you haven't decided to plug in to receive the power yourself. So you
Wow.
have to think of yourself as a surge protector. And if you do that, God will continue to remind you. He's going to allow the right people to plug into
Yes.
you only if you plug into it.
Yes. Oh,
Otherwise, you just got a bunch of folks around you that
ooh.
can't help you because you didn't decide to take what he was told you to plug into it. And so I just think to me, that's just the way I look at things,
Oh,
right? That's how I govern things.
oh,
And it's helped me to this point.
good. Oh,
My God. I'm sitting here like tearing up because you are all in my business and you just telling
okay.
all of my tea time folks all of my business. And I don't know if I should appreciate it or praise God.
Ooh, you're right, right. Wait a
I am
second.
so full off of all this wisdom that you have just given us. It's like, oh
You
my God,
did.
like when we're
Listen,
done, I am going to go back and rewatch this because you have given us
it's
so much information.
so
It's like,
much.
oh my God. I
There's
really appreciate you. We really appreciate you for coming on
so
and
much.
sharing the wisdom that God has blessed you with. Um,
Absolutely.
and can you um tell the people where they can connect with you if they want to reach out to you?
Not a problem. Right now we have a family business called Greatness Only. We're our goal is to be able to give people that enlightenment or upliftment through our products, our programs, and our experiences. And we do this in communities that may not be a community that's being embraced, or we like to call them the forgot abouts, or the people, the looked overs, or the ones that people so-called throw away. And so you can find us at Greatness Only on IG, Greatness Only US, Facebook at Greatness Only USA, uh, X at Greatness Only US, and we do have a YouTube channel, Greatness Only, and you can definitely find us, follow us, to get more information on what we're trying to do. My son started the company years ago because he was the individual that everybody looked over. But I truly believe in today's world, today's time, it's time for us to give eyes to ones that haven't been seen. It's time for us to give a voice to ones that can be heard. And I
That's good.
think this is what this is. This is a podcast. No, this is a ministry. And I'm not
Amen.
trying to say that we don't need to get so high and mighty. I'm not saying that. We can execute at any given time, place, an area, but I believe it's going to take greatness only. It's going to take tea times. It's going to take multiple areas or points of contact where people can leverage and utilize. And here's the thing. We have to do this because we have to be able to provide them with options versus choices. And if
That's
we
good.
continue to do this collectively, we don't have to really worry about knowing if a person has a resource or individual or something, because we already provided it to them. So kudos to you guys. I follow you, I watch you. I was like, they gonna invite old bald head me to their show. Why I tell you, why I must be moving up like Sherman Hemsley and you know.
Oh, we
Um,
love it.
but I just tell you, it's just been a blessing. I do appreciate it. And again, if you need me, definitely reach out to any of those social media handles.
Amen. Well, we appreciate you coming on. You have given us so much wisdom. I'm going to pull on you a little bit more to see if we can wring some more out of you. Is there anything that you would like to leave? Any final comments that you would like to leave our viewers with? Any more wisdom that you would like to spit out on us?
I just, I tell you, I just share this with everyone. I think at the end of the day, you know what God gave you.
That's
You
good.
know what your assignment is. You know you need to execute. We know in the last days, not to get all pastor preacher on you, that he's going to rise up his people. But he can only do that if his people are obedient to be able to execute the assignment.
Hmm.
And I'm just asking, if you have a dream, if you have a business, if you have an idea, execute it. We're in a season of acceleration. No time to be passive. No time to sit back on the sideline. It's time to get in the game and execute what's given to you. And if you need help or guidance, assistance, I promise you, it will be sent to you. But you got to be able to lock in. So thank everyone for paying attention to me. Some of the stuff you might understand, some of the stuff you may not. But I do know one thing. I'm just a cog in the wheel. And together, collectively, if we're moving in the same direction, we're going to reach our goal. So God bless you too. I love you dearly. And I'm
Oh,
thank you for allowing me to be a part of your
listen.
presentation tonight.
Listen, we thank you. Come on, y'all. We got to give them some hand claps, some snaps, whatever. I don't even care.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully, you all have enjoyed this episode. I know I did. Listen, like Joe said, I'm definitely going to rewatch and write some things down, post some things in the atmosphere so I see it every day. So definitely, I shared his website, so go hit him up, buy some merch. Okay, Thanksgiving, Black Friday's coming. Get your
Yes.
Christmas presents. Okay, that's where I want you to go. Okay, shop there,
Support
shop.
it.
Right,
Yep.
that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow it up. All right, so definitely.
And also too, Joe, Liz, send me your sizes, and I'll shoot you out a go gift pack on us. Right? We always like to bless people, so let us
Oh,
know. We got some slides, got some hoodies. We'll put y'all some merch. So next time you have tea time, just be like, "Yo, this is my girl
Listen,
merch. Got it from Greatness
listen,
Only. They put
listen.
us on.
we got
Whatever
you.
you young people do. Yeah, that'd be
We
great."
got you. We
We
got
got
you. Definitely. Oh, we
we got you.
appreciate that. Look at see, that's what it's
Yes.
about.
Thank you.
That is
That
what
is
it's
so
about.
sweet.
Oh my goodness. All right, Joe. I can't take no more for real.
All right. Well, that wraps us up for today. We want to thank Preston Johnson, our special guest for tonight's episode. He definitely fed us and fed us well. I am so full. I know my sister Liz is full, and we just are just excited even to go back and rewatch the episode. And if you are replaying this, go ahead and still comment. We still come back and we read our comments, and can interact with you and let us know, if he, gave you a word and you enjoyed his wisdom. Let us know. And then until then, we will be back not next Monday, but the following Monday, December 2nd. That is our final episode for the season, where we're gonna go over the episodes
Yeah, calm down. We're doing tea time
of the year.
countdown. Okay. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun.
Time countdown. We're just gonna have some fun because we got the holiday season coming up, and we want to enjoy each other's families and stuff like that for the holidays. So until then, you guys have a wonderful evening, and till next time, see you later.